They told you money changes people, that once you get it, you become someone else. But that's not the truth. Money doesn't change you. It exposes you. It pulls the curtain back. It shows you what was always hiding beneath the surface. Money is not a villain. It's not your enemy. It's a mirror, a brutally honest mirror. It reflects your identity, your trauma, your emotional set point. It exposes your beliefs about self-worth, power, safety, and love. If you were insecure before, money will amplify it. If you were generous, it'll magnify that. If you were arrogant, it will put a spotlight on it. That's what money does. It amplifies what's already there. You think your problem is not having enough money, but the deeper problem is not knowing how you relate to money. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a mirror problem. You avoid money not because you don't need it, but because you're scared of what it will show you about yourself. You're afraid of the identity it might strip away, that quiet fear. If I had everything I needed, who would I be? What excuse would I have left? Because when the excuse of struggle is gone, when survival is no longer holding you back, you're forced to confront the truth. You never needed permission. You only needed healing. Look closely at your spending habits. They're not random. They are emotional x-rays. When you spend impulsively to feel better, you're trying to fill a void. When you hold on to money too tightly, afraid to lose it, you're clinging to a false sense of control. Usually because life has taken from you before and you haven't healed from that wound. When you avoid talking about money, planning for it, or asking for what you're worth, you're avoiding your own reflection because money is deeply emotional. It reflects your nervous system, your childhood, your patterns of guilt, shame, and fear. That's why you sabotage wealth every time it comes. Not because you're cursed, but because deep down, it doesn't feel safe. Your body is addicted to the feeling of lack. Your identity is still tied to struggle. Somewhere inside, you believe that if you stop suffering, you'll lose connection with others, or that if you succeed, you'll be alone, or judged, or unloved. So you stay small. You hide behind noble-sounding lies like money isn't everything, or I don't need much to be happy, but what you're really saying is, I don't believe I'm allowed to have more. Because somewhere along the line you were taught that abundance equals arrogance, that wealth equals corruption, that wanting more makes you greedy. But what if that's all backwards? What if the desire for more is natural, but the guilt was taught? What if your soul craves expansion, not because it's selfish, but because it's remembering its true size? Money isn't good or evil. It's neutral. It's a tool, a magnifier. If you're broken inside, it will magnify the cracks. If you're healed, it will magnify your impact. That's why some people get rich and lose themselves, and others get rich and change lives. The difference isn't the money. It's the mirror they were already carrying inside. If you gave a poor person $1 million today, but they still believe they're worthless, still believe the world is out to get them, still believe they're not safe, they'll burn through it, sabotage it, lose it. Not because they're stupid, but because their inner reality cannot hold that level of abundance. And the subconscious always wins. Always. But if you give that same money to someone who's done the inner work, they'll multiply it, share it, build with it, because they're no longer afraid of what it reveals. That's what no one teaches you. Wealth doesn't start in your job, it starts in your identity. Ask yourself honestly, what do you believe about rich people? What do you believe about abundance? What did your parents teach you about money? Not through words, but through energy, tension, silence, arguments, fear. What did you absorb about money just by watching them? Did you learn that it's a source of stress, Did you learn that people will leave you if you succeed? Did you learn that being rich makes you a target, a bad person, a fraud? Because those beliefs didn't come from truth, they came from survival. But if you don't rewrite them, you'll repeat them. You're not just managing money, you're managing your past, your nervous system, your subconscious blueprint. And if your internal thermostat is set to lack, then no matter how much you earn, you'll always find a way to go back to comfortable, to just enough. That's why you might find yourself saying, why does this always happen to me? Every time I get ahead, I lose it. The truth is, part of you believes you're not supposed to have more. That's the part you have to reprogram, because you don't get rich from strategy alone. You get rich from safety when your mind, body, and spirit finally believe it's safe to receive, to expand, to live beyond survival. Money doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to alignment. It flows where it's welcomed. It stays where it's respected. It multiplies where it's integrated. And you can only integrate money when you stop making it your enemy. When you stop hiding from what it's showing you. So look around, look at your bank account, your job, your spending, your giving, your saving. All of it is a mirror. It's showing you what you really believe you're worth. And if that reflection doesn't match who you truly are, it's not because you're a failure. It's because your mirror has been dusty, covered in fear, guilt, programming, trauma. It's time to clean it. You don't need to become someone else to be wealthy. You need to remember who you are without all the fear, without all the scarcity. You're not greedy for wanting more. You're not selfish for desiring ease. You're just tired of fighting invisible chains. Money is a spiritual teacher. It humbles you. It teaches responsibility. It asks you to confront your ego, your wounds, your power. Because when you have wealth, you can't blame the world anymore. You can't pretend you're a victim. You're forced to answer the question, now that I have power, who do I choose to be? That's why money exposes you, not to shame you, but to give you a chance to evolve, to step into a version of you that's no longer defined by pain, but by purpose. So stop fearing the mirror. Stop avoiding the reflection. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're simply becoming aware. And awareness is the beginning of liberation. Once you see the pattern, you can break it. Once you see the lie, you can unlearn it. Once you see who you are beneath the scarcity, you can finally receive what was always yours. Money doesn't make you powerful. It reminds you that you already are, but only when you're ready to stop hiding, when you're ready to stand in front of the mirror without shame. That's when money flows with you, grows with you, serves you, and through you serves the world.